So welcome everyone to Future Proof Your Field Operations, our SiteCapture Live webinar. We'll be sharing new tools for faster, smarter solar installs to help you through this upcoming busy summer season. And just a few housekeeping items before we jump into the presentation. If you have questions throughout the webinar, feel free to use the Q&A box, which you can find in the controls panel of your Zoom webinar. We'll leave some time at the end to go ahead and answer those questions live. We'll get through as many as we can. If you have any technical issues, feel free to restart Zoom or reconnect to the webinar. If you have issues though, don't worry. We will be recording today's webinar and we'll share that recording for on-demand viewing at your pleasure. So no worries about having to be on camera or background noise, anything like that, because our attendees are viewing only. So joining me today are Kamal Shah, our founder and CEO at SiteCapture, and he's going to share some industry insights and give us a little sneak peek at some exciting new functionality on our roadmap. JT McCook is our senior account executive, and he's going to take us through some new features that you can start using today to make the most of your summer. And here's what we're going to cover. So we'll start with a background, an overview. Why should you be thinking about future-proofing your field operations? Why SiteCapture is poised to help you there. JT will take us through SiteCapture video, our customer self-surveys and inspections, and our solar financing integration. And then Kamal will share that sneak peek of our AI functionality before leaving plenty of time for your questions at the end. So Kamal, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Great. Thanks, Allie. As Allie mentioned, I'm Kamal Shah, founder and CEO of SiteCapture. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and looking forward to discussing how the topic today of future-proofing your field operations, and along with JT, getting a chance to show you a few specific features of the SiteCapture platform. I think what's on the top of mind for all of us right now, over the last week or so, is this the potential ending of the ITC and how it's going to impact the solar industry. I think we all know and are all expecting some impacts and some potential challenges. But I think a lot of what we're talking about today is things that we can do to prepare for these changes and their impact. So it's a bit topical because I think there are important things that we can do to lessen the impact, to find other ways to operate more efficiently and effectively. And that's a lot of what we're talking about today. As far as solar installations, soft costs still remain the largest kind of expense in every installations. And the field operations part is a big part of those soft costs. So, some questions are, how can we streamline? How can we streamline the field operations part, everything we do on site, on the job site, doing installations, doing site surveys? What can we do to do those more efficiently? Margins are thin in this industry. They may get thinner. So one of the big questions is, how do we get more efficient, reduce costs, remain profitable with some upcoming changes? And project delays are always problematic for everyone. So we always want to find ways to shorten timelines, get the installations done quicker, get to commissioning, reduce number of truck rolls or repeat site visits that tend to cause delays, make sure financing gets approved. And then really the other thing is, obviously we're seeing a big growth in third-party ownership models, TPO models. But with TPO comes more demand for documentation, QA/QC, proof of work. Finance companies are requiring that from their install partners. So these are all key aspects of field operations and some challenges that we need to solve for and want to be able to future-proof to be able to solve these challenges. So how do we address these problems? Well, that's part of what we're trying to do, trying to help out with. I know we have a number of customers on the call today, but I think some folks that are maybe less familiar with the platform. So a really quick introduction. SiteCapture is a field operations management software platform. One of the main benefits of our platform is to ensure customers always get consistent, complete, and accurate documentation with photos and data at every stage of the solar installation life cycle. And that's really important, during site surveys, during installs, documenting what's happening, getting through commissioning, financing, and then post-install for operations and maintenance. And we're really our platform is there to really kind of help streamline all of those processes by really making it as easy as possible to get all the documentation you need and be able to review all that information from the job site for each of those various steps in the life cycle and all those various workflows. We've been serving the solar industry since 2016, working with a large number of solar companies, both large and small, across the country. And to date, SiteCapture has been used in over 5 million projects, and we've had over 200 million photos of job sites have been taken with the SiteCapture platform. So at the end of the day, our goal as a company is to help solar installers in the solar industry reduce soft costs, increase margins, remain profitable, and reduce project delays through every step of the solar installation process.
Awesome. Thanks, Kamal. So we'd love to hear from everybody joining us live today. I'm going to go ahead and populate a poll on your screen. And if you wouldn't mind sharing by selecting the option that applies to you. So is everybody seeing that poll question on their screen now? I'll give maybe another 30 seconds or so for folks to read through those options. I see we've got some responses coming in. Excellent. All right, we'll give another 5 to 10 seconds or so here to tell us what your team's top operational goal is this summer. All right, looks like those responses have slowed down. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll and we'll share the results here. So wow, it looks like almost half of you are looking to reduce admin time and manual data entry. And yeah, I think that sounds like what we're hearing from a lot of our customers out in the solar industry. What do you think, JT and Kamal?
Yeah, I agree with that. Anytime there's a instance of error, so for instance, manual data entry, that can lead to again more truck rolls, more costly results for each project. So it does not surprise me.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for the engagement there and participating in that first poll. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to JT to talk to us about SiteCapture Video.
Hey everyone, great to be here. Happy to talk to you about this great new feature we've got. So SiteCapture Video is a great new addition. So photos are still critical in the industry, but sometimes a quick video actually gives you better context, especially for complex installations, site conditions, or the QA process. So now your queues have the ability to record, review, upload videos directly from the app and view them later in the web portal. In terms of best practices and use cases, everyone's a little bit different, but I personally think it gives a better context for the installation on site. Photos paint a picture, but videos really tell a story about the installation. It can help prevent future truck rolls since more information can be captured in a video, allowing you to talk and give context. So let's say proof of workmanship, record compliance with the NEC or other AHJ codes to make sure you pass the permitting process the first time and not the second time. And then something that I would personally use this for is actually to use this for training examples. So if there is a particularly good installation, you can document it. And then when you're onboarding a new employee, you can show them what good work looks like and then what maybe not so great work looks like. So I would have used this actually. So I personally did a self-inspection, which we'll cover in the next slide, which I think is pretty cool. After I did a self-inspection, the photos were fairly detailed. However, they required a video to connect the dots, specifically between the battery placement and the main service panel placement. And that level of detail allowed us to accelerate the permitting process, which was very, very useful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to demonstrate how to add this in your account. So for existing SiteCapture customers, here is my instance of SiteCapture, my fake solar company, Camp McCook Solar. What you'll do is open this up in the top right-hand corner, go over to the settings section, click on templates. And what I'm going to do is add it to a site survey. So I'll edit. And then I'm going to actually go into the attic and roof information. So let's say the access location in your home. Taking a photo really just focuses on the ceiling, but you want to give some more context as to the location, maybe specific furniture in that area that they might have to move so they can prepare for the type of equipment that they're going to need. You can select videos allowed. We can even select high video quality. And once we hit save, we can publish that. And now your users out in the field will be able to capture video on their mobile device and upload it into that form. So pretty cool, very intuitive, and very easy. All right. Now, the customer self-inspection. This is something that I could talk about for hours, but I do have a time limit, so I'll keep it short. This self-survey is a very powerful tool. This allows you to reduce site visits and overall project risk. So it's very valuable for both pre-sale and post-sale. The homeowner can actually submit their own information themselves on their own device. This saves time, miles, and overhead on your team. So there's an old saying in solar, the project isn't done until glass is on the roof. So what I mean by that is even though a customer signs a contract today, doesn't necessarily mean that is resulting in revenue in 60 to 90 days. A lot can go wrong in that time between sale and installation, and the self-survey allows you to both pre-qualify pre-sale and qualify post-sale. So for example, a lot of today's proposal tools allow you to qualify based on remote information, Google, Nearmap, LiDAR, but there's a lot of information unseen that can completely derail a project. But how do you qualify that without being seen? Well, you have the ability to actually send over a form to the homeowner. They can fill out the necessary information, take pictures of the service panel, the meter, the roof, and it allows you to actually qualify them before going on site. Now, I know generally in the industry, depending on the project, truck rolls can range between $120 all the way up to $1,200. And what this self-survey allows you to do is identify the right customer so you can ensure that you're investing a truck roll in a project that will likely yield in revenue later on. So you can identify if a service panel replacement is needed, roof type replacement is needed. And it's very valuable also post-sale. You can ask for any other information during the permitting process, which specifically happened to me. I purchased a solar array with solar plus a battery. They sent out a site surveyor. Turns out they didn't collect the right information for battery placement because Tesla Powerwalls require a 32-inch gap between the battery and windows or doors or the service panel. They didn't collect that. So what I had to do is I actually took all of the pictures with my tape measure, my yardstick, and I was able to identify the right location. And what that did was it actually helped accelerate the permitting process. So that's something that I think is very, very valuable. And what I'd like to do now is actually demo it for you. So just give me a second. And you'll see SiteCapture. And now you should be able to see my mobile device. So this is the homeowner self-survey. It's very simple. I actually did this about 20 minutes before our call today. I sent one to myself. And all it really requires you to do is put on some shoes and go outside and open up your camera. So if we go into customer information, what's really nice is there is specific information that is required. So let's say this is a pre-sale homeowner survey. Who's your utility provider? I can say it's SMUD. I live in the Sacramento area. I know that there are some areas where you don't want to deal with specific utilities, so this allows you to pre-qualify them or move them up. From there, we can go to home information. Not only can you add in text fields, you also have the ability to add in photos. So I can say that I've got a 2-story home. I do have backyard access. And prior to today's demo, I went and took a quick picture of my gate, which, yes, don't judge me. I need to paint it and replace it. But that is a real world example. From there, you'll notice the checkboxes on the left-hand side. This is really great. So homeowners know that they've completed all of the required fields. If I go to home photos, you can take as many photos as you'd like per section if you want to give some more context. And we've got some conditional fields. So let's just say, are there trees in the backyard low overhanging on the roof? If I hit no, nothing appears. But if I switch over to yes, it'll actually require me to take pictures of those trees. Now, luckily in my backyard, I'm blessed to have these beautiful trees. However, they do cause some shading on the array that is going to show. So this allows the installer to get some better context. Are we going to have to trim and remove these back from the edge? So we've got multiple choice as well. I think most homeowners generally know their roof type. I can say that it's clay tile. My roof, I want to say it's good, but it's probably teetering on poor, just depending on the moss that's on it. And then here's an example of I actually logged on to the customer survey on my web application, and I uploaded a quick drone shot, which shows how to quickly access the roof. Now, once all of that has been uploaded, now I can just quickly jump into my job site. I'll go to the homeowner self-survey, and we can see all of that information has automatically been uploaded. It's time-stamped, it's geolocated based on the location. And again, this allows you to pre-qualify to make sure that this customer is worth a truck roll. You can see if there's going to be any additional adders or costs. And overall, it just saves you time and quite a bit of money. So that was just a quick demo of the self-survey.
Yeah, and JT, maybe I'll just jump in. I think a couple other things that I'll mention that customers love about the self-survey feature is that it can be fully branded. So it has your brand on it. It's an experience that aligns with your brand, so they know it's coming from you. But everything from the email that goes out to when they start clicking the self-survey. And the other thing is that the survey that goes to the homeowner just happens right in their mobile browser, so it doesn't require any downloads. They just get a link, they open it, starts them through the process. Really simple, and we've been seeing really great results and return rates on those surveys that get sent out.
So we've had some great success stories. So specifically, A&R Solar, they've seen a massive impact. Self-surveys have helped them speed up their proposal generation and eliminating up to 90 minutes of drive time per visit. And Michael O'Brien put it simply, the time savings has been massive, remotely eliminating unnecessary travel and accelerating sales, which is huge in this industry, especially as we're on the acceleration towards the peak of the solar season. You need to make sure you're accurate, and you need to make sure you're as fast between sale to installation. So the next is the solar financing integration. So specifically with LightReach, we've integrated with platforms like Palmetto LightReach and Everbright to help you submit milestone data instantly and accurately. You can capture the right data in the field, review in SiteCapture, send it directly to your financing partner with a single click. There's no back or forth, no delays. And our customers have really seen quite a big benefit with this integration. And let's jump into the demo. So just give me a second. Allie, let me get everything synced up. So for today's demonstration, we did just do a quick recording, just so there aren't any technical errors. However, I will be just talking over it and walking you through it. So first off, all the work is auto-created within SiteCapture from LightReach. All the information is pre-populated, like account ID. You have the ability to select the due date, depending on when the site inspection is happening. You can select who the actual physical mobile site inspector is. You can add a manager so they have visibility over the work. You can also set the priority of the work depending on, let's say you've got just a normal client or maybe a celebrity and you want to put it at a priority. From there, a nice feature I like is the ability to live message in app to your person on site so you can check when we arrive. And then from there, what we'll do is jump into the mobile app. So in the mobile view, your site tech or field tech only sees what the work that they're assigned. They can open a form, they can view messages, they can even get driving directions within the app, which is a great feature I personally like, so I'm not jumping back and forth. So first, what we'll do is we'll respond to the chat. So I actually have arrived on site. I'm here. What we'll do is jump into the template, and the template includes all the required fields from the financing partner. Those are highlighted in orange. This work cannot be completed until all of that required work has been added, which is a nice fail-safe. And then conditional logic ensures that techs only see the fields that are relevant to answer. So is this a manufactured home? Yes or no? It requires us to collect that information. So something that I really like on, we'll jump into the next section, required photos. You can include a partner provided example photo. So field users know exactly what to shoot and financing companies get exactly what they need. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether or not the right information is being collected. There you've got two example pictures. From there, they'll close it out, and then they can go and take a picture. So when they're taking a picture, just like your iPhone, it's all intuitive. Everyone has that muscle memory. They can open up the camera, they can take a picture. Once the photo has been taken, you also have the ability to annotate them. So we'll take the picture, open it up. We have the ability to draw on the picture to give better context. So we can draw an arrow. We have the ability to also draw multiple shapes, multiple colors to give better context. And then we also have talk to text. So, any place there's a text field, you can use this talk to text functionality. And then that will be associated with the picture in the PDF report later on. So we also have dynamic field entries. So for example, if you're working on a project with multiple meters, multiple arrays, and you need to add them, our dynamic fields let you add as many as possible. And you can add in the specific information associated to each, again, meter or array. So it'll give you an example picture of what to take. From there, we'll click on the little camera icon, zoom in, take that picture, and then it automatically uploads into SiteCapture. So once all of the required data has been entered, what it's going to do is immediately sync in the background. So we'll take our final picture, we'll mark our job as complete, and again, that data now immediately starts syncing in the background, no uploads, no follow-ups. Back in the web app, which we'll jump to right now, an Office user can review all of the submissions. They can actually go picture by picture. This allows them to either flag, annotate further, delete, add captions. So we can open up the picture. We can go section by section. On the right-hand side, you'll see all of the information, even the lat-long geotag, which I think is very valuable, just so you can make sure you did visit the right house that you sold. That happened at a previous solar company I was at. We visited the wrong house and got the wrong measurements. So once we hit ready for light reach, all the photos will instantly be pushed into the correct buckets in the light reach portal. All that information will sync, and then we can jump in here to our customer, and seamlessly we can go over to the install package and then view all of that information that we had collected on site. So it's really that simple, seamless. There's no manual data entry, which I saw was the major answer for priorities this summer, and this really does eliminate that with this integration. And that should be it. All right. So the results. So what this has done has improved first-time approval rates. So our partners are seeing real results. As Paul Platt from Palmetto Lightreach shared, our integration has dramatically improved accuracy and speed across the board. This has been a huge win for both our installers and our finance teams. And then for our EPCs, such as Empower Solar, they've seen great results as well. Empower Solar used our financing integration to cut their average funding cycle from 22 to just 9 days. They were also able to double their first-time milestone approval rate and reduce QC time by 2/3, which is pretty incredible. And what I'll do now is, Kamal, I will pass it over to you.
Yeah, sounds good. And maybe just before we jump into, maybe just flip back one slide, Ali. I think just to highlight, I think that's why I want to mention that, we've seen incredible success with the Solar Finance Partner Program. We're working to get integrated with as many of the finance platforms as we can. As JT mentioned, there's sort of three key parts to it. The first is, ensuring that you have a template that clearly identifies all the requirements for the finance company. So it really helps with the example photos, the instructions, the required fields, that your field techs on the job site capture all those photos the finance company needs the right way the first time. A chance to review them in the web portal before they get sent, and then that single click of a button to make sure they all get uploaded and all get uploaded to the right place in the financing partners platforms. That's what's driving all of these kind of great results you're seeing, that both the finance companies and the EPCs are seeing. So I just wanted to just kind of a little recap on that because I think it's been really great to see. This is something we really just launched live in January, and over the last 4 or 5 months, seen some really incredible results. Great. So our first look at Site AI, I'd call it not even quite a first look. As you said, you can see we're making everything really blurry and we're a little under wraps here, but I'd call it a teaser. We have a pretty exciting new product that we've been working on for about the last 6 or 8 months. We're currently kind of in an alpha program right now, working with a few customers really to hone the product. And really what we're looking to do is to streamline the photo review process. So obviously you guys know a big part of SiteCapture is the ability to capture all of those photos and data on the job site in a complete, consistent way. But once they come back into the portal, there's a pretty significant process that needs to happen to review all those photos. And those could be the photo review process, could be the review that goes into the design process if it's a site survey. It could be the review that goes into QA QC process for compliance to get to commissioning and to get permits approved and get the installation, the solar installation turned on. Could be making sure that all the photos are there and everything is going to pass financing milestone. Today it's a very manual process, stepping through those photos, looking at all the details. We're really looking to build an AI assistant that will help with that photo review process. And the goal is to reduce that photo review time by as much as 50%, really to use a combination of computer vision and AI to really just do a lot of things that are being done manually, but be able to do them faster, be able to identify photos that might need a manual review, identify QA, QC problems, identify places where photos are missing or photos do not match the instruction criteria, make sure the photos actually match the job site that they're supposed to match, looking for things to make sure that the GPS locations are correct, and really looking to leverage AI to do all of those things. We are looking to launch that in Q3, so we're probably a couple of months away in a beta. And Allie's going to provide a little bit of information. If you'd like to get early access and join our beta, you can join a wait list and we'll reach out and would love to get as many customers involved as possible in our early access program, just to continue to help us get feedback, tune the product, and look to launch something pretty exciting later this year.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Kamal. So one final poll question for our live audience here. So give me one moment. I'll go ahead and populate that on your screens. So we'd love to hear from you. Again, which new feature would you like to learn more about? So we've shared a bit about SiteCapture video, our customer self-surveys, our solar financing integration, and that little sneak peek first look at Site AI. So go ahead. I'll give another 20 to 30 seconds here if you'd like to let us know which feature you are most interested in. We've still got some results coming in. Maybe another 10 seconds here. Great. Those have slowed down. I'm going to go ahead and close this poll, and then we will pivot over to our Q&A section. So as a reminder, you have that Q&A box in your Zoom webinar controls there. So go ahead and pop your questions in there. We've got a few already that we can address. We did have one question come in through the chat instead of the Q&A. Does the finance company access the photos via the web app in that solar financing integration?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump on that question. Hey, Josh. The finance companies receive it through an integration. So we are integrated in with the finance platforms on the submission of a project going to a given status. It triggers that integration to happen, and all the photos and the PDF with all the information about the project is sent to the finance company. There are also ways to manage which photos get sent with flagging and other ways. So there are different ways that we can decide. We determine which photos and what should go in the PDF that gets sent to the finance company.
Excellent. Thanks for that. We had a question come in. Is there a time limit on videos?
We do currently have a time limit on videos. It's 30 seconds for the professional package 1 minute for the premium package. As we continue to sort of tune and optimize video, we expect that we will increase those limits, but would love to get feedback on that from folks as well. We've generally found that uh, most folks have considered 30 seconds to a minute to be a great length of video to capture, not wanting to have someone sit in the web portal and watch a 5-minute video.
Yeah, definitely. We have a question from Marguerite here. I'll answer the one part. I did see that you said you'd like to get the PowerPoint, so we will be sharing out the deck, the webinar recording, and any resources that we've mentioned, like those case studies, the link to that Site AI early access waitlist, etc. So keep an eye out for that after this webinar. But your question was, are the new features available in SiteCapture automatically, or are they an add-on with an additional cost? Great question.
Great question. I can feel that one. So the answer is today. Well, the answer is yes and no. So the self-survey, that is an additional cost. So if you'd like to go to our website, you can see it's $100 a month for 30 inspections, and then 150 inspections cost $350 a month. So that is an additional charge. But all other functionality that are built within the app that are necessary for daily activities and function, those are automatically uploaded based on the tier of package that you have in SiteCapture.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I think just to expand, the video features and the solar finance are available on our professional package, which is our second tier, just to clarify that. But again, you can find all that information on our pricing page on our website. I think I'll also note that the AI features will also be kind of a separate product with its own pricing, still to be determined. We'll probably be releasing that information in a few months as we figure out the best pricing for it for our customers.
Great. So Andrew asked in the Q&A, what's the name of the template for pre-sales customer site survey that JT demoed? And he is on the professional package. Is that a custom template, JT, or is that a
that is a template that we provide. So if you want to get access to that, Andrew, we should chat after our call. So once you get access to the in-home survey, we will upload that into your account for you. So that is a template that we provide.
And one other question here in our Q&A. Is there any plan to have an additional manager assigned to a project in the event that there is a regional manager, etc.? So I don't know that this is related to any of the features that we discussed, more of a roadmap functionality question.
Yeah, great question. I think that's something we'd have to check in with our product team. I know we have added some new mechanisms for simplifying sharing of projects across multiple users. So that might be something that would be useful. We can definitely get back to you on that, or feel free to send that very specific question to support@sitecapture.com, and then you'll get definitely an immediate answer from there.
Great, thanks. So this is a question, I believe, regarding self-surveys. How do you ensure accuracy and completeness when customers are capturing their own photos?
That's a great question. I would say, we saw it today, those example pictures. There are homeowners that are quite savvy with going solar. Everyone's dealt with the customer that's done probably 1,000 hours of research. Then there's the customer that you meet, let's say, in the hardware store. So if they are doing a self-survey, I would really recommend you include example pictures. You could even give some example information of what you're looking for, what you're requiring, and sometimes keeping it as simple as possible is the best way to ensure that the information that the customer is collecting is potentially good enough for the permitting process or the documentation process.
Great. Regarding the solar financing integration, what financing platforms is SiteCapture currently integrated with, and are there any more coming in the future?
We are currently integrated with the Palmetto Lightreach platform. We'll be launching an integration with Everbright very soon. And we have a number of others that we can't quite mention yet that are in the pipeline that we expect to have integrations over the next few months and through the year. We're happy to, if there are specific solar finance partners that you'd like to get integrated with, please let us know. We generally are prioritizing based on, the ones that have kind of the broadest reach, but also the finance partners that our customers are asking for. That definitely drives our priorities. So if there's specific finance platforms that you would like to get integrated with, yeah, definitely let us know.
Oh. What are others doing to get homeowners to complete self-surveys on time?
That's a great question. Um, I from personal experience, the best thing you can do to get a homeowner to complete the self-survey on time is be incredibly clear and educate them about the entire solar process. Just because they're purchasing, like for instance, I purchased on February 28th. I still don't have glass on my roof. We're approaching end of May. So be very, very clear about the entire process, educate them pre-sale, and then be very clear about why you need to collect it. Specifically, the information that they can collect on time will get them through permitting. As we approach the solar season, the permit desk is going to look like a cartoon desk where all the paper is going to be stacking up, and you want to make sure you can get yourself in line as fast as possible. So that's what I would recommend. Educate them, make them understand the process, and then the sense of urgency to complete that. And also get them excited about going solar. I mean, it is a big purchase, and it is a lifestyle purchase that they should be excited about.
Yeah, JT, one other thing I'll add that I know customers have mentioned is that oftentimes the homeowner actually would prefer to do a self-survey than schedule someone to come on site. They could do it on their own time. They could do it on their own time if everyone's busy working and it's hard to get it scheduled. They'd actually prefer to go through it themselves.
Great, thanks. That looks like all the questions we have, unless there's a last call. Anybody wants to throw a question in the chat? Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up. So thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you have some actionable tips that you can take with you into the summer season that's coming up. And as I mentioned, we'll be following up with any resources we mentioned, the webinar recording, the deck. I know some of you have requested that. So keep an eye out, and we hope to see you at our next SiteCapture Live webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.